that has been given, and that happens to be something that is also part of the Cybercrime Computer Misuse Act in Singapore. So on that point, he is right. So there is definitely that does exist in other countries, and that is what Mr. Swaminathan has followed when he had drafted this. But there is no necessity for refining this again, since the ETO already includes this, and there is no necessity of redefining something in the Cybercrime bill.
Okay, so that basically what you're saying is that on this particular point you made a mistake and actually electronic definition ETO 2000 में exist करती है. That's it. Or maybe this is a foreign vendor or something. Okay, तो आप लैपटॉप खोल लें और इसको अच्छा नहीं मगर पहले ये कर लें और
फंडामेंटल है ना इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स की बात आ गई
इलेक्ट्रॉनिक की ओके ज़ाहिर गो अहेड आप बताएं अपना नजरिया.
This kind of an argument is, I'm sorry, but I have to be very clear, it's a bit of a farce. The purpose that we're sitting here today, which Mr. Sagar did mention, was that because there has been a lot of debate on the basically Yahoo group, and before that, comments, etc., that have been sent. The purpose we're sitting here today is to discuss major three various points. We're not going to sit here, we cannot, within the period of 1 to 3 hours, take each and every definition of the Cybercrime bill and go through it line by line to check whether this is correct or not correct. This is not an exercise I don't think either my colleagues are ready for, nor do I think that is the right way to go about it. The purpose that we are here today to discuss what I understood was the following. Number one, that this legislation does not actually comply with any international legislation on cybercrime. The second is it doesn't comply with the Cybercrime Council of Europe's Convention on Cybercrime. That I think is the crux. If you want to get to the crux and get to the core of the entire issue, my question basically would be that let's start with policy. Let's not go by line and language. What has been suggested is alternative language is the issue here. This is not the issue. It is not a question of alternative language. It is a question that the entire legislation, the way it has been drafted, is completely different from and has decided to be different from the Cybercrime Convention. What I would like to now address, and I think Anurag did send an email in which he also made an attachment of the ratification, etc., and things like that of the Cybercrime Convention. And there was Salman Saab as sent FAQs in which he has addressed the issue of US signing or not signing the Cybercrime Convention. What we first must decide is whether if we're going to have a law, does it comply with the Council of Europe Convention on Cybercrime or should it not comply? That is where we need to start. We don't need to start with one particular definition and go beyond that. If Mr. Anwar wants to start with the electronic, let me start with cyber terrorism first, because I think that's the most interesting definition. So that's what I'm going to get at anyway. The main issue is, which I consider that needs to be discussed today, is not each and every specific definition. We can do that also, and that is a longer discussion. But the question is, why is this legislation not compliant with international best practice when it comes to the Council of Europe Convention on Cybercrime, number one. Number two, why is it not compliant with all these safeguard procedures that exist in the US and in the EU and under the Council of Europe Convention with regard to protection of individuals? Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, you're listening to you.
I'm stopping now. So that's the main question. And so what
okay, so let me summarize.
Let me here to find out from Mr. Anwar. I'm also wanting to find out from Mr. Anwar, because he never had an answer for this one, is why is it that the Council of Europe Convention is being debunked?
Okay, now let me step in as moderator. I mean, there's a history to all these deliberations, but like you said, going forward, we want to be very positive and we want to talk about ideas rather than personalities, and we want to work together to evolve this. We don't want to have any negative baggage from the past. Number one. The second thing is that we want to be specific. Now, Anwar Saab ने electronic का definition raise किया, and definitely वो हमें पता चला कि ETO 2002 में है. So I think that is resolved. Let's put that off the table. Then Zahid raised the two questions as I see it. Question number one was the importance of the Cybercrime Convention and adherence to the principles of the Cybercrime Convention. And the second second point raised was another definition, which was a definition of cyber terrorism. Anu sir, would you like to respond?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
So Anu sir is on respond.
Despite these comments of Zahid were not correct.
Yeah, वो established कर दिया. Electronic was not. Next point.
I considered them and then I improved the definition of electronic also.
अच्छा.
And ये नहीं है कि वो उसको ignore कर दिया गया. जो comments थे, no matter how irrelevant they were taken seriously.
ठीक.
Okay, it is defined differently in ETO. The word electronic. We include what? Electronic includes but not limited to. It makes it very vast.
Sorry, इधर मैं एक motion करना चाहता हूँ. एक motion ये थी, which I would like to add, जो कि असम साहब के साथ discuss किया था, कि the इस्तेमाल included but not limited to be removed from the body, because then it just opens it up to the addition of anything. Can you do that?
I would second that.
Asam sir, any comments?
No, let me explain it. It is not everywhere, not limited in not limited to. When the term is very vast, and or there is a possibility of vastness, as you will see the Zahid has explained that its very first comment is the electronic means much more.
Okay, but if Zahid says electronic means much more, Zahid should come up with each and everything that electronic means. Otherwise, we don't define it. That is my proposal. So we take out, in my mind, include but not limited to, in any instance in the whole draft.
No, this is a way of drafting. It's a phrase. It's a phrase which we include for the benefit of judges, which will, those who will decide cases after 5 years or 10 years.
I'm sorry, sir. Can I interject?
Yeah,
when you say when it is included for the benefit of judges, that's a very scary concept. I'm not a lawyer, you guys are, but I don't want that kind of leeway, because that means anything under the sun. When you say it means somebody is defining it who doesn't know what the hell they are doing. That's what it means to me.
No, it is not out of the context, definitely.
No, includes but not limited to. I can do a count. It's at least a dozen plus times in the law, and it's very, very scary. Like
maybe for a non-lawyer, electronic includes but not limited to. It is not out of the context.
You know, but you're making it all encompassing, which they can.
Just one second.
I will just put a little preamble. Everybody will put up preamble. Let me just make one point here.
Just one second.
The effort we are making here is, जो आपने कहा कि I need to fix or whatever. Again, simple building. Law is like a building. It has to have a solid foundation and a good structure. You cannot fix the structure by cosmetic changes. This is the primary argument that Pasha has in journal and other stakeholders have raised, that you're trying to fix the structural problem through cosmetic changes. You cannot say go to floor number 13, fix a wall, and that will increase the structural reliability.
I don't subscribe to that.
That's your opinion. You have a right for opinion.
Let me state my opinion. We all agree to meet here today. If we go through every clause point by point, we will either fix it or we will establish your hypothesis. So this is a useful thing. Do you have any further comments on included but not limited to?
Yes, the primary
No,
comment
not
is that
specific.
specific this is that whoever is using it in defining the law, I don't know who, I'm sure somebody wrote it down, but is basically leaving too many things open to interpretation. They need better definitions. That is